Hi everyone, I'm Echoes and I'm a Vtuber, and I'll be going over episode 6 of the Gina of AI titled Robot. Before I get started, just quickly just go over something. So pretty much with this reaction I'll be finally caught up, and next week I should be able to post a reaction as usual. So yeah, I'm glad I can get this all done. Alright, and let's get started. Anyway, so with this episode, we pretty much get kind of like a palate cleanser because overall the past few episodes were in general kind of depressing. But this one's probably the most optimistic one we've seen so far. So this episode covers sort of how commercial robots are used to improve the lives of human beings, and not to improve their lives, but also people can also learn from these robots as well. So in a way, it becomes more of a mutually beneficial relationship. So yeah, humans and humanoids go through different experiences in their lives. Learn new techniques while building up their common sense and social skills. And so how does an industrial AI learn these things? There's a variety of approaches, and one of them is living among people. So here we get introduced to the first industrial robot, which is this male-looking robot that has all the burns on its arm. He's because this robot worked as an apprentice to a metal worker. His training is over, so I was hoping he could just clean him up. Repairs aren't exactly my specialty. He seems to always constantly do stuff that isn't what he usually does. Always refuse. Guess I could. But I'm curious to find out what your robot learned, Professor. It's a very productive apprenticeship. You're right about that. It really was. Skip the opening. And then we get introduced to the first scenario, which involves the metalworking robot. We visit Kiriyama Metalworks 6 months ago. Deeply in the sparsely inhabited mountains, you could hear the sounds of a hammer on metal. So pretty much they'll explain the scenario here, where pretty much that robot was used to observe this old man right here. Asking if he's buying anything, a knife, I'll discuss something with you. And he says here, let's see. Our laboratory is exploring the potential for preservation of traditional industrial practices through the use of AI. I think it's an interesting idea. We were hoping to get your cooperation. So you want me to teach this weird bot of yours? Right, what do you think? And he's like, nope. Want to do it? You should find a proper teacher for him. All I do is dirty, hard labor that nobody appreciates. Then why keep it up? Because it's all I know how to do. They had me doing it since I was a kid. I'm basing an anachronism. I had a few young folks coming around asking to learn, but every last one of them ran off in tears. If I may, Kiriyama-san, you'll find him nothing like those young folks, because he's a robot. He's hardworking than any of them. Comes to learning manual labor, confident I can outperform anybody. Pretty cocky guy. Just so we're clear, I'm not teaching you anything. Spend the week learning the sealment methods. Got it. And then he'll speak with other people more. Want to know exactly why he's sticking me with your robot? Of course. Kira's lifestyle was so structured it was almost mechanical. So in the way we go through this old man's life, he washes his face, does his stretches, and does his metalworking. And he's like, man, this robot's cute. The human-looking ones I saw in Tokyo look more natural. Let me take your place, I'd automatically look more natural. Got a smart mouth, huh? He actually likes it, because he has some personality to him. When I was watching my old man work, I figured I could do a better job. To be honest, my old man never was good at smithing. But you got all kinds of folks with a hankering for good old-fashioned stuff, which gave him a big head. Ask me, mass-produced craft was usually better than what he turned out. Maybe there was a time when Maybe there's a time when craftsmen could outdo machines, but that's ancient history now. Grew the bunch since my old man retired, produced finer slices and hatches than he ever did, and earned a reputation for it. That said, I don't know how it's a skill worth passing on. Ain't like there's anyone who needs them. This is an interesting question because I actually watched a YouTube video that covered this. I'll see if I can link in the description if I can find it. But pretty much Japan is dealing with an ongoing issue where a lot of older people who learn an established trade, like for example metalworking here, find themselves becoming obsolete because of advanced technology, right? Like for example, like this guy makes like handmade knives, right? Would you prefer to buy an expensive knife made by someone, or would you prefer to buy a cheaper one just from the store that's made by a mass-produced machine, right? Like, in a way, these craftsmen find themselves obsolete, but because of, you know, how their products can just be easily available anywhere nowadays. You don't need someone to make them for you anymore. But it doesn't change that their skills and what they've learned over the years still remains important as a part of human history, and as a part of, like, if you forget these techniques forever, then they're gone because there's nobody else to pass them down. And this is where this robot's incredibly important, where he can learn the techniques and preserve them as long as he remembers them, and obviously that memory can be saved in a place where it will never get lost. So yeah, it's just an interesting question here. Like, does anyone who needs them? Still, the present is built on the technological improvements of the past. Our desire is to preserve that process for the historical record. In the old days, it was done with art and writing. Modern times add video and sound recordings, all to record how people lived for posterity, using those robots to record directly the skills and experiences that craftsmen like you have developed. It's a very admirable thing for sure. Does he have a name, by the way? Called Fuji-san, but he's called Learn-kun. It's like, can't you just give him a better name? And then the robot stays with him. And you can see that the robot's currently mimicking the old man's actions. And you can see he's teaching him. And the robot's like, I thought you weren't going to teach me anything. And he's like, I'm curious. I'm wondering what kind of work a robot like you can make. And then you see that he's come back. They've come back again. Learn-kun took the fruits of his learning and gave them form. One sec. Yeah. His potential for mimicry is far beyond that of any human. In a way, he's better than any human apprentice. The result was a very fine kitchen knife. You can see that the old man here is quite impressed. He's like, oh my god, this knife is so good. And you see he's kind of contemplating stuff currently. Is he okay? And the guys are like, he's kind of shocked, Professor. We shouldn't just have Learn-kun hold back. But there's no point. Learn-kun, I have seen the craftsmen to know that. Instead, Kiryu-san woke up a little earlier. It's quite a shock. He took the same tools and material I've got, but made something even finer than he ever did. Guess me and the old man had something in common. Still have a lot to learn. I wonder how best we could... So in a way, you can see that the old man, rather than getting discouraged by the robot performing even better than him, he actually was encouraged to do even better, because it showed that he still had room for growth, which he wouldn't have realized on his own. So in a way, this is part of that mutually beneficial relationship where robots and human beings can help each other in a way that allows them to learn and grow. Wonder how best we can preserve posterity. And then he talks about how he seems to glow. And then you can see the old man asks Learn-kun to stay, if Learn-kun could stay a bit longer. Following one, Perm-kun picked up all manner of techniques, including his apprenticeship. Sounds like they both learned a lot from each other, which they did. Might be right about that. So in a way, this had a very good ending where it all ended with a good result. And the next one is about the other scenario, which involves a AI that resembles a child learning from a class of students. Because it's pretty much training for a caregiver AI. And by interacting with kids or similar kids that it would take care of, right, it would then be able to understand their needs and concerns as a caregiver. From Care Robot, I'm gonna learn. Let's see. Nice to meet everyone. My name is Perm. Care Robot, I'm going to be learning things with you all. So his company will be around today, so if you have any questions, you could ask them. I was gonna do fights. Nope. Want to be his friend. And you can see that this man was referred to by Suda Sensei, and never heard of developing an AI like this. Putting aside the efficacy question, I truly believe life experience is beneficial to caregiver AI. Beneficial just slightly costs. One of the others helped me set this up, made excuse about the cost. First time here will give his AI some wonderful experiences. And then you can see that Perm-kun learns a lot from his experiences. And then you see this kid mentions how robots are used in daily life. Like, for example, this robot here is used as a waiter to provide wine choices. While here it's more, we get a robot that kind of is like Amazon's Alexa and can play music. They're everywhere, but I've never seen one like Perm-kun before. You see he doesn't know what to do. And then eventually the kids show him how to solve the problem. And you see that Perm-kun's playing with the kids. Saw so many surprising things after Perm-kun showed up. He couldn't seem to do simple things, but could do really amazing ones. You see that he could do the paper art. Paper cut art of Sasayan. You can see that the kid's trying to give him some milk, but he can't drink milk. And he's also doing some long division. And you can see that he's trying to help clean the floor, but accidentally bangs his head. After a while, Perm-kun became a lot better at schoolwork than everyone else, which makes sense, it's a robot, so he quickly learned stuff. My dad said there's more than one of Perm-kun. There's a bunch of him at different schools at different grade levels. They're all connected together through the net. That's how he learned so much so quickly. And then you see that Perm-kun changed, though. But at first, he slowly started to change. Then he's kind of sad. Not going to make anything this time? I'm scared of the cutter. Getting cut hurts. Is he sad? Did he get in trouble or something? Wouldn't do anything bad. Maybe someone's picky on him? No. No one in the class would do that. Maybe it's happened at another school, which makes sense because they're all connected to each other. Remember how he's going to different schools in different grades? Oh yeah. So that means that someone else got hurt at a different school, and he's like, I get that. And then he's like, man, I should be more careful. Instead, the kids try to cheer him up by allowing him to jump rope as long as he wants. You see that he's like really happy here. Go to the 2000s, but they're getting really tired. But he's like so happy because they just want to be happy. And he's like, we're gonna keep going because we want our friend to be happy. And then you can see that Perm-kun force them to stop. Must be tired, so you handle rope next. Perm-kun messed up on purpose for our sakes. We all could kind of tell. And then after summer vacation was over, he was like a different person. You see Perm-kun's kind of like taking in the sights. Not gonna play with everyone today? Just want to take it in. It's how to say goodbye. We'll still be, but we'll be together for another month. Out of all the things I experienced in these 6 months, that was, let's see, right before summer vacation started. How everyone helped me jump rope for a really long time. Out of everything we've experienced in these 6 months, that was the most wonderful. Because in a way, they're all doing it because out of Perm-kun, for Perm-kun's sake. Thank you for treating me like a real friend. It's really sweet. Always be friends, right? It follows the season of parting. So time, let's see. As quick as it went by, we learned a lot from him too. And you see he got a note from all his friends. You work really hard. Thank you. You're all grown up now. Everyone's thrilled, thank you. A lot of people out there who need your care. Right. So in a way, Perm-kun was able to achieve his goal too of being able to properly learn from the children in order to be able to take care of children in his future functions. But yeah, like overall, it's just kind of nice to get these type of episodes, kind of calming, relaxing, positive, rather than more negative, contemplative as we have before. So we have the robot that learned metalworking from an older experienced artisanal worker or tradesman. And then we get Perm-kun, who learns from other kids in order to be able to take care of kids itself for the company. So in a way, robots and people can learn from each other. Doesn't always have to be just a one-way street. And I appreciate the series showing this in this episode, because I think we need a bit of uplifting after all the depression. But besides that, I feel like, I don't know, sometimes we just need a dose of positivity here and there. And just show that even in a dismal world, there's still some hope. So yeah. All right. Thank you so much, and hope you enjoyed listening to this. Thank you.